you may or may not know, but after Valentine's Day is when people all get engaged. And so now it's like full wedding planning season. So we wanted to just hop in our catering studio. Nope, this is our cake studio, and talk about catering and cake decorating. And then, yeah, just answer any questions you might have. We'll talk about some trends with the cakes, and we have the common questions that people ask us all the time to cover. Yeah, so let's see.
So send us questions.
Yeah, yes. Send us questions, please.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, this is Kim and this is Kate, and they're cake decorators.
And this is Danielle.
Yes. Hello. So yeah. So let's see. Let's talk about catering first.
Okay. So
yes.
Not sure if everybody knows, but we do full service catering for weddings, which is really cool. We're a French bakery, if you couldn't tell by Café Perot. So we do classic French food with modern twists. So you would find like beef bourguignon on that menu, but like also like cool appetizers, little bite-sized stuff, like bite-sized grilled cheese, tomato soup, some really cool stuff. We love appetizers. We offer like buffet packages. We have barbecue. We do vegan, vegetarian, plated food, station.
Yes, really anything.
Yeah, we make everything from scratch so we can accommodate special dietary needs, gluten-free, all that. So that's pretty cool. We have our menus and photos on perotcatering.com. You can also reach that website if you go to our main Cafe Pro website and just click catering. It'll swing you over to that website. So that has a lot of more pictures to kind of give you a visual of what we've done in the past. And you can submit an inquiry if you're interested in that website, and then we'll send you a questionnaire and we'll get the ball rolling with all the planning, you know, have a nice conversation about what your vision is for the big day. So yeah, we love doing weddings, and one of the favorite parts of mine and Kate is the wedding cake, because that's what we do.
Yes.
So we had a couple questions that people ask us all the time.
Just want to cover everything there.
Yeah. I think you might be.
First time.
All right.
We're learning.
Remember, be in the shop.
Okay. So, the first question we get a lot is, can we do more than one flavor
in the single cake, right? So your wedding cake is probably going to be tiered. I think we have an example over here. So this is an example of one of the cakes we've made for this upcoming wedding season. So each tier inside of it is 3 layers of cake and 2 layers of filling.
So these each are tiers.
Yeah, they are not layers. Just clarifying that. They're not layers, they're tiers.
Yes.
So inside each tier is 3 layers of cake and 2 layers of filling. So you can choose to have the top tier one flavor, the second tier one flavor, the bottom tier one flavor. You can do it all the same. Or inside the tier, you can change up the flavors. So you can do like vanilla chocolate vanilla cake, chocolate vanilla chocolate cake, 1 layer of this mousse, 1 layer of that mousse. It all depends on your preferences. Easy for us to interchange. So don't be nervous about asking for more than 1 flavor.
Yes. It's your day.
Yes. Do whatever you want. So how large is the top tier? What goes on with that?
So the top tier is 6 inches. Actually, you want to bring that back again? The top tier is 6 inches on our cakes. We can accommodate custom sizes, but like this is pretty standard. So the top tier is 6 inches in diameter. So that means across the whole thing. And when you get a cake topper, you want to make sure it's smaller than that. Otherwise, let us know and we can make a bigger top tier, and we could fit your topper on it. Like for example, we have like beach chairs sometimes, and those definitely don't fit on the top 6-inch tier. So we would make like a larger top tier, and it would all be proportionate. So don't worry about it like looking weird. We're gonna make it look great.
Yes,
that's our job. And also traditionally what you would do with the top actual cake is the venue, or us if we're catering, will save it for you, and then you can freeze it and eat it on your anniversary. Our favorite recommendation is to eat it after your honeymoon, or like, you know, after you calm down after the wedding, because, you know, who knows if you ate cake or not. I'm sure you don't know if you remember or not. Big day. Yeah. But so traditionally you would freeze it, but what we like to recommend to do is eat it when you get home, and then order a new topper for the next year, especially if you go with something like fresh strawberry, fresh fruit, frozen.
Not always
great for smoothies, not great for cakes.
And we can replicate it so it matches your original cake.
Yeah,
so you can have a
really
whole
good point.
anniversary cake that would look great, and it's the same thing. It'd be fresh.
Very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Delicious.
Yep. And no freezer burn on that fresh cake. So.
No.
And if you do decide to freeze it, make sure you wrap it really, really well, and you know, wish yourself good luck.
Okay, so as far as like cake toppers go, I know we do a lot of sugar flowers on the top and then like throughout. So can you tell me a little bit about sugar flowers and why people choose them?
Oh, so sugar flowers were on that cake we just showed you as an example.
Exactly. And sugar flowers are flowers that are made from a sugar paste, and we make them by hand. Kim and I start with the centers, and it's a couple day process because like these have to dry before you can put them together. And like I can show you a couple. Pull these out. A couple centers, and they just start small and they add petals to them. And these are all flexible. They're all on wires. And a lot of brides go with sugar flowers for a lot of reasons. These are entirely food safe. So we use the sugar paste, floral tape, all that kind of thing. And it's helpful for it to be food safe because not all fresh flowers are. They can, you know, some are even poisonous to people. So that's one really good.
Insecticides, pesticides.
All that stuff they're spraying on it.
It sounds a little funky to us. So we
to
like
put in your cake.
Sugar flowers.
Yes. And the other great thing about sugar flower is that they can be keepsakes. They'll literally last forever. They dry like ceramic, and then you can keep them in a glass dome. If you keep them away from like direct heat and light, they'll never die. And it's a really, really wonderful keepsake for a wedding.
Mm-hmm. So do people actually eat them?
No.
Well, there's wire in them.
There is wire, so that's for starters. And like I said, like they're hard. I wouldn't recommend eating them. I I have children eat them. They think because it's sugar.
But, you know, it's like hard candy.
Yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, but the advantage is saving them.
Yes, definitely.
And the food safe.
Yes, and food safe, no pesticides.
Yes, you can still get the look. Like fresh flowers are beautiful. We love fresh flowers on cakes, but yeah, some of them turn out to be poisonous.
Oh, another good point is that we can totally customize the sugar flower. So if you have a fantasy flower in your head that doesn't exist in real life, we can make it. Like we made navy blue, like I don't know, peony flowers before. Like they're really cool.
And like with gem centers, gold centers, things that don't exist in nature, we can change to adjust to like your whole cake scheme.
Yeah, we love that vision.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we should talk about budget a little bit because all these custom things add up a little bit.
They do. It can get extravagant, but we try so hard to work within people's budgets. So like if you want a big sugar flower cake, that's great, but if it's not in your budget, I'd recommend getting like a smaller 2-tier cake. And then we always offer slicer cakes. So you'll always have enough servings for your guests. It'll just be in the kitchen. No one's going to see it, but you'll still have a display cake and a ceremony cutting cake. And that's the best way to do it if you wanted to work with a smaller budget.
Yeah. We don't recommend ordering less serving sizes. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Always want enough cake for everybody. I know not everybody eats cake and everybody likes cake, but the one time you think that they're not going to eat cake, you're going to run out of cake.
Yes. Right. And we do have a lot of reviews that legitimately say they hate cake and they love our cake. So there's a chance they'll eat it.
That happened to me. I started working here. I started liking cake. So you'll be surprised. People will eat the cake.
I'm going to throw in an extra question.
Go for it. That's okay.
In our catering package, we include like a small cake, right? What size is that? Like and it's just for the cutting purposes
so if you want to bring that back. So in the catering package, and you can always add on, we can always do a gigantic cake if you want, but in the package is included a cake that would be like the size of these 2 tiers here on the top. And so you can still have your picture where you cut the cake and all that. And we would serve, the bottom tier, save the top tier for you. But also in our wedding package is a ton of bite-sized desserts because we are a full bakery. We make everything from scratch. So, we kind of decided that a lot of people are asking for smaller cakes and a lot of people are looking for other desserts besides just cake. So we have a lot of bite-sized stuff like mousse cups, macaroons, a whole bunch of other stuff, brownies,
cookies, everything.
So we overload your guests with dessert. Just give you that package, so you can have a nice one for your picture, and you still have the top
For your anniversary.
for your anniversary.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about something fun about the 2019 trends that you see coming out in cakes, or cakes that you really want to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out and make sure everything's
So-
going well over
So
here.
Yes.
every year we investigate new trends, and we've been seeing this one.
So this is, we went with all black because it has been trending. We've been seeing a lot of darker weddings with like, you know, still kind of a romantic vibe, and gold still has been in this year. So I have the gold foil and the gold leaves, and this is a good example of like how we can customize things that aren't in nature. So like the gold leaves are all hand painted, the edges of all these flowers are gold, and then we have this.
Poster on that.
I don't know.
See?
Yeah,
Gold edges.
and gold leaves
does not
gold
exist
foil.
in real life. Whoa. Okay.
So we can do that for you. And this is also a really nice size. This is with the 3 tiers. This is one of my favorite proportions. It's a 10-8-6, and it looks great. It's impressive still, but you might still need a slicer. So that would be something where get a small cake and then slicers. It'll bring down your budget, and it works for everybody.
Right. So this would serve about how many people?
About 80 max, and that's including your top tier. So I wouldn't go quite so high if you wanted to keep it. And that is an option. You can opt to serve your top tier if you want.
That is a good option.
Especially if you're not planning to save a cake for your anniversary.
Yeah. And also one cool thing I want to point out about this cake is that it has like the white top to the tiers, which doesn't like, I think it really brightens the cake up while still being black and like cool and trendy.
Not overwhelmingly dark.
So this one, guys.
This one we've seen, you know, a lot of today, but this is a really great example of the sugar flowers and the trending.
Yeah, so we've got some copper,
like hammered texture.
Hammered copper, that's what it's called, which is really cool. It's really cool for sinks right now, so we think it's going to be a new cake trend, and we're pretty excited to make it because it looks really cool. Adds a lot of texture. And then this color scheme is also really in. Again, like dark and jewel tones are still in, so we really like that. And then geometric shapes. So we made this little wreath here out of wire, which matches the copper on the bottom to kind of bring the copper throughout the whole cake, and to incorporate that geometric trend that we're still seeing everywhere. We love geometric, super fun, and this is a nice way to incorporate it subtly, so it's not like
overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming. You have, you know,
bunch of triangles all over your cake.
Yeah. So yeah, this was another one we created for this wedding season. You can come and see it in our store
on Saturdays.
We have it in our Andover store on display. So you can, even if you were like interested in seeing it in real person, like how big are the flowers, like what are you looking
the flowers,
at?
what they feel like.
Yeah. It's okay to touch. Don't let the kids touch, though.
Sure. Still fragile.
Okay, we have 2 people asking the same question.
Oh, okay.
What's the question?
About what, when a venue says my cake is included in the package, what does that include?
So we work exclusively with some venues. So that would be like Black Bear, Ballyowen, Farmstead, Lafayette House, and Mountain Creek, Red Tail Lodge, Mountain Creek. Great venues. We love working with them. So what that means is there are certain designs included in your package, and you can view them on our website. And when you go and meet with your venue, they'll have a book, and you get to flip through it, and you get to see which designs are included in your package. And typically a 4-tier cake with like a simplified design is included in your package. Very classic look. And we have some more trendy things in there, some color. We were just looking at
piping details, things like that. Buttercream flowers, we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that's included.
So typically, like the sugar flowers will not be included, but you can always add on, you know, ask if you don't see something you like in the book, ask your coordinator to send us pictures and kind of describe what you're looking for, and we can definitely do something custom, but it will cost you a little bit more money. Not a crazy amount. We love upcharge cakes because you already have the basic included, so it's just a little bit extra on top if you want to kind of, you know, go for the extra stuff.
Yes. Okay, so this is
here's another one.
Huge.
Yes.
So if you're having about at least 110, 120 people, this is like about the size that you'll get, especially if it's included with your package. And with this one, I wanted to create something that was more winter feel because we have been having like a few more winter weddings lately.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have like the white on white mountain scene. This is a cable knit pattern. And then just the winter colored roses with some sanding sugar to give it like a little bit of sparkle.
Yeah, and the little berries. We love berries.
Yep,
They're
and
so
these
cute.
are, the pines are actually wafer paper, which is another,
Yeah, these guys here. Whoops.
they're fragile
Yeah.
too.
That's why there's so many leaves.
Exactly. But they're just made out of rice paper, wafer paper, potato starch, but they're really
Totally
great to work
food
with.
safe.
Yes, another food safe
Also
thing.
gluten-free.
True. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love that you can put pine cones
Yeah.
on there because you cannot put pine cones on food usually.
That is true.
If
That's
pine
true.
needles over a cake, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You want this.
That would be awkward.
Yes.
Sounds
People picking out
painful.
pine needles.
Sounds painful. We have
Yeah.
one more cake to show you.
Yes.
Yes.
This one features the Pantone color of the year. So Pantone every single year releases the color that they think is going to be like everywhere in fashion, design, everywhere. So we love to use that color every year for a new cake design. And this is what we came up with this year. The color is coral.
It is, which is bright,
Yeah.
fun, very exciting.
So again, as Kate said earlier, the gold drip is still really in, or the gold is, and
Yes.
drip is still really in because that's been a trend for a while.
3 years.
3 years, but it's not going away. We still love it. It's really cool.
It looks awesome.
And it's unique. You know, it's not like super duper wedding-y. So if you're a little more
non-traditional.
like it a little more fun, the drip is a great option. And so we made some sugar peonies for this cake. And we also made some meringues. So, you know, we can make them in all different shapes, but this is just what we chose for the design. And we also like incorporating macaroons because we are French. We make a lot of macaroons.
We do. Great wedding
And-
favors.
Yeah,
by the
they're
way.
great wedding favors. And I love to put them on cakes. They're delicious. We have a cake in our store that has macaroons on it. And we love making macaroons.
Yeah. This is hard to see, but it's a water texture, which we can do in buttercream, where we kind of smear it on here as long as we smooth it.
Yeah,
And
you
it
can
adds
kind of
just-
see that here.
Yeah.
You see that.
It adds like a hint of color, which makes it pop, especially on like a white cake on a white day. Like with all this brightness, you want a little bit incorporated everywhere.
Yeah, bring it through the whole cake.
Yeah.
And yeah, that actually brings me to a good point. All of the cakes we're showing you are fake cakes, so there's styrofoam inside, but the outside is the real fondant we would use on your cake. The flowers are what we would really use, the real macaroons, real chocolate for your drip. And so there are some more possibilities that you wouldn't see in a fake cake in buttercream. So as Kate said, we can texture it, which is a really good way to kind of like, you know, bring it all together and add some interest.
Yes.
So keep that in mind when you're looking at a lot of, yeah, which is great. They last. But again, you know, fondant versus buttercream is always something people are asking about. Maybe we should
Oh, we
do
should
that.
talk
we
about that.
should.
Fondant versus buttercream.
Fondant, I love it. It looks great. It really
is good. It's
it does
delicious.
taste good. People should try it again. But I think it adds, when you want something to look very sleek and smooth, you should try to lean towards a fondant cake. We can get buttercream really smooth too, but there's a finish that fondant has that you can't get with buttercream. But then there's a lot of advantages to using buttercream instead.
Yeah, it depends on your design. And also we put buttercream under the fondant. So when you order a fondant cake, you get both. You don't have to eat both.
Exactly.
I do, but
I mean, I do like fondant too.
yeah. So if anyone's worried about, oh, people aren't gonna like buttercream or fondant, we still got the buttercream. So
You'd have both.
yeah, you just get to have your cake and eat it too with that.
But with like a buttercream, there's a lot of textures out there, and you can only usually do that with buttercream. And like on this one, I'm going to swim back over.
Oh yeah,
This is a good example.
Oh, and like the royal wedding cake, wasn't that very textured?
it was very textured.
Exactly.
Texture
And
sealing.
that's, you know, that's something we can do for like all of this. It's like a mountain scene with pine trees and stuff. Great with buttercream.
Yeah.
This is actually made with royal icing, so it hardens. But generally speaking, we would do that in buttercream. I can't think of other designs.
You know, I call it the spackle look.
Yeah.
Because it looks
And
like
it's kind of
spackle,
rustic.
but I love it still. Yeah.
I do too.
Rustic.
It's great for
Very
rustic
rustic.
cakes.
Yeah.
Let's not go well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
So We're gonna post a blog about this.
Yes.
Because there are more trends, but we didn't have time to make a cake for every trend.
That would be fun though.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of time doing fake cakes and not real cakes.
Yeah, gotta make some money somehow.
Yes. So we're gonna have a blog post with the rest of the trends, and then if you think of any questions, you can we'll post this video on our pages so that you can add questions if you have any. Yeah. Yes, I think
I just want to say hi to Erin. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, people, for watching.
Yes, it's our first one. We were really nervous.
So
now
nervous.
we're
It
not.
got better.
Yeah, it definitely got better.
There's more to come in the future. We'll do more of these.
So any questions, email us, call us. We have wonderful staff to answer the phone, and you can talk to us directly too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this is our Instagram handle, so you can find us there.
Yep. Follow us.
Or come visit us in real life.
Even better.
That would be really great too.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, well, bye.